Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us take Shiva Shakti in with 5 deep breaths. Om Shiva Shakti Om. 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 Kada nilimpanirjhari nikunjakootare vasan vimukta durmadhi sada shirasthamanjalim vahan vimukta lolalochano lalamabhalalagnaka shiveti mantramuccharan kada sukhi bhavamyaham. Shiva 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 Shambho Shiva Shiva Shambho. Idam hi nityameva muktamuttamottamam stavam pathan smaran bhuvan naro vishuddhimeti santatam hare guru sobhakti mashuyati nanyatha gatim vimohanam videhinam sushankarasya chintanam. Shiva 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 Shambho Shiva Shiva Shambhu Nilimpanath Nagari Kadamba Maula Mallika Nigumpha Nirbharakshara Madhukshni Kamanohara Tanotunu Manomudam Vinodini Mahadnisham Parashriyat Parampadam Tadangajat Vishamchayah Shiva 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 Shambho Shiva Shiva Shambho Prachanda Vadavanala Prabha Shubha Pracharani Mahashta Siddhi Kamini Janavabhuta Jalpana Vimukta Vamalochana Vivahakalikadhvani Shiveti Mantra Bhushana Jagadjayaya Jayatam Shiva 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 Shambho Shiva Shiva Shambho Namami Parvati Pati Namami Janhavi Pati Namami Bhaktavatsalam Namami Bhalalochanam Namami Chandrashekharam Namami Dukkhamochanam Tadiya Pada Pankajam Smaramyaham Nateshwaram Shiva 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 Shambho Shiva Shiva Shambho Shiva Shiva Shambho Shiva Shiva Shambho Pujavasana Samaye Dashavaktra Geetam Yah Shambhu Pujanamidam Pathati Pradoshi Tasya Sthiram Ratha Gajendra Turanga Yuktam Lakshmi Sadaiva Sumukhi Pradadati Shambhu Iti Ravana Virajita Shiva Tandava Stotram Sampurnam. So, Kada Nilimpa Nirjari Nikunja Kotare Vasan Vimukta Durmati Sada Shirhastamanjalim Vahan Vimukta Lola Lochano Lalama Bhala Laknakar Shiveti Mantra Mucharan Kada Sukhi Bhavamyaham. Here, Ravana is asking, Kada Sukhi Bhavamyaham. When will I be happy? How? Shiveti Mantram Ucharan. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Saying that mantra, when will I be happy? Sukhi Bhavami. When will I? Kada Nilimpa Nirjari Nikunja Kotare Vasan. Ravana is also looking forward to, thinking, questioning, wondering, wanting, aspiring. When will I? Kada Nilimpa Nirjari, near that celestial Ganga river flowing. Near that Ganga, Nikunja Kotare. Kotara is cave. Nikunja is a bushy place where there is cave as well. So in the middle of the bushes, if there is a cave, in solitude, in the cave, Kotare Vasan, residing there in solitude, when will I be able to do that? Near Ganga river where she is flowing. Vimukta Durmati. Vimukta Durmatihi. And being freed, liberated from all durmati, bad thoughts, bad actions, bad ideas, bad concepts, durmati, bad decisions, being liberated from that. Sada, all the time, Shirasta Manjalim Vahan, holding the Anjali Hasta over the head. So that means he wants total surrender to Shiva. So he's also aspiring for that. When will I be able to hold the hands with total surrender to Shiva, being liberated, freed from any of the bad negative thoughts. Vimukta Lola Lochanam. When will I be free from wandering eyes? Vilola, wandering eyes. That means if the eyes go here, that attracts me. If my eyes move here, that attracts me. So with so many distracting things all around, desiring for all objects of the world, my eyes are wandering everywhere. When will I be free from that wandering eyes, rolling eyes with so much of desire for different things? Vimukta Lola Lochanam, Lalama Bhala Lagnakah. Lalama is the Lanchana, the mark. The mark of Shiva Bhakta is Vibhuti. Just like it is Chandana or Gopi is for Vishnu. For Rama, it is the Nama. So like that, having the Lanchana of Vibhuti on my forehead. Bhala is that forehead. Lagnakaha, having that Lanchana, Vibhuti. Shiveti mantram ucharan, uttering the mantra Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. When will I be Sukhi Bhavami? When will I be happy? Eternally happy. All the time happy. So, whatever he is aspiring for, being near Ganga river, flowing continuously, that is possible. In Himalayas, having the cave as well, near that Ganga. This line reminds me of Vasishta Gufa in Rishikesh, where both husband and wife were meditating for very long time in the cave. It is still there. It is still there in good condition. And it is very close to Ganga in Rishikesh. So if we go further up, we get many more caves near flow of the Ganga. And Vimukta Durmati, of course, Sada Shivasta Manjalim Vahan. That is also yoga. Unless we have the full control over the physical body and the mind, it is not easy to hold the hands up like Tadasana. It is not easy. It needs good balance and steady mind. That is possible in that ambience with Ganga river and the cave. And Vimukta Lola Lochana, having no distraction, total concentration on Shiva mantra and having that vibhuti on my forehead. So this is one scenario where Anjali Vahan, Anjali Hasta is held in 3 places. When we hold it, Anjali Hasta here, that means I bow down to each and every being who are here, all the elders. When we hold it here, it is for Guru. And when we hold it up here, it is for all Devatas, Ishtadaiva, to that Paramatma. So it is the surrender which we are showing. So holding that hand and putting the vibhuti on forehead, that is also a very beautiful experience when we apply it while thinking, having good vibrations in the mind. That what this vibhuti representing. The whole Vishwa is Nashwara. That he's telling it through making everything come down as ashes. So it is a constant reminder to know that this world is Nashwara. And Rudrakshi is the seed which is constantly showing its presence as Rudrakshi Bija seed, which becomes the tree. Again, it becomes the Bija. Again, it becomes the tree. Like that, it is eternal. So that represents Atma. So having these two Lanchana close to us, it is a constant reminder. And Shiva is very much with us in the form of Vibhuti and in the form of Rudrakshi. So he's telling, when will I have that Lanchana, Vibhuti? So we can understand this shloka in different levels. A devotee, when he starts his journey of bhakti, devotion towards Shiva, from all worldly thoughts and worldly actions, the daily routine of worldliness, we go to the temple, Shiva temple, in whichever city we are. We keep going regularly. After some time, that person who is having devoted routine of going to temple feels, how I wish if I could get a place where I can sit in solitude, where Ganga is flowing. I feel like going to Himalayas and be there. That is another thing. Thirdly, one feels that Ganga, who is flowing, is like Satsanga. I want to be next to Ganga because she's the purifier. So a kind of Satsanga is happening between Ganga Mai and the devotee as sadhaka. As the days move in our sadhana near Ganga river, one goes within and feels the flow of Ganga as consciousness. So that satsanga would be within ourselves. The good thoughts continuously flowing on Shiva, that itself feels like the flow of Ganga. The satsanga is happening with Ganga within because of that continuous thought on Shiva. So with that in the mind, Shiveti mantram ucharan. With this purity in mind, if one shows his devotion, his adoration, worship through just that Nama Shiva, naturally, Lalama Bhala Lagnakaha, that Vibhuti Lalama which was there, it, instead of that, the Agnya Chakra becoming activated becomes that Lalama Lagnakaha. One becomes attached to that Agnya Chakra, and thus the radiance keeps coming out as Lalama to that sadhaka, one who has gone deep within. So we can see how one can progress with that bhakti, with right ambience, how one can go further. This Himalaya, I would like to say a few more sentences because it really attracts me. It is Deva Bhumi. The minute we are there, the nature there itself makes us so impacted by some kind of calmness, peace, and good thoughts keep coming automatically. So it is Deva Bhumi. Like I said, Vasishta Gufa is there. When I went to Mana village, the last village near Badrinath, there is Vyasa Gufa where he wrote Mahabharata with Ganesha in that cave. So when I entered that cave, I just had taken out the shoes and I entered the cave. That itself made me go into the meditative mind at once. It is that strong. It is that strong. It is Deva Bhumi. It is the Bhumi of all the yogis and the seers who have energized the Bhumi, Vayu, Akasha, everything around there, that it is a ready-made place for one to go through this kind of devotion, meditation. It's a beautiful place. And Ganga, that is also, she churns, once we are in that water, she churns the mind to such an extent that something really rewires itself and we come out as fresh, a new being. I'm not exaggerating. It happens because it is Deva Bhumi. Himalaya is Deva Bhumi. So Ravana aspiring for this is very, very natural, sahaja. And Ravana, being so close to Shiva, and he is watching the Tandava happening right in front of him. And yet he is aspiring, when will I be able to keep uttering the mantra of Shiva and get that sukha? When will I be happy? So can you understand? Already Ravana's mind is thinking, yes, right now I am with Shiva, seeing his Tandava in my mind. But once I come out of this mindset, I will be back into the world. When will I be constantly uttering that nama, mantra, and be happy? For that, I want to be in a cave, solitude. And I want to be near Ganga without any distractions. And surrender totally to Shiva by lifting my hand without getting distracted. So it is a genuine aspiration which he is expressing so beautifully. He is telling on behalf of so many sadhakas, which is the deep desire of many sadhakas, bhaktas. Next. Idam hi nityameva muktam uttamottamam stavam pathan smaran dhruvan naro vishuddhim yeti santatam hare gurau subhaktimashu yati nanyatha gatim vimohanam hi dehinam sushankarasya chintanam. So anyone who is idam hi nityam evam uktam, this stotra, idam hi, this stotra, nitya, every day or continuously, nitya, continuously. Whoever utters this uttamottama, best among best stava, whoever recites, whoever reads, whoever contemplates on, they vishuddhim eti santatam. They get that eternal purity. They become pure. Santatam eti vishuddhim. So they get that purity. And not only that, Hare Gurau Subhaktim. They get that bhakti in Hara, Shiva as Guru. That means Shiva is that Atma Guru, Adi Guru, Mauna Guru, Dakshinamurti. So he is the Adi Guru who was Mauna Guru as well. Just his presence used to make one come out of ignorance. Shiva, who is consciousness, is nothing but Chidghana, Dakshinamurti, who is none other than Shiva, who has Shakti within. So it is Paripurna Dakshinamurti. Hare Gurav Subhaktim Ashu. Ashu means at once, quickly, instantaneously. Yati, and he goes into that bhakti line. Nanyatha gatim. Nothing less. No other lesser path. So what does it mean? Whoever contemplates, reads this and patana, keep saying it, repeating it again and again, will get that bhakti at once, which will lead him to Sadgati. Nothing lesser status. Nanyatha gatim. No other path. Having total focus and jignasa. Jignasa means deep desire to become Shiva. Having the devotion towards Shiva, he will attain by repeating this shloka with contemplating on it, like meditatively repeating it again and again. Not only that, vimohanam hi dehinam. Sushankarasya Chintanam. The Chintana, the thoughts on Shiva, which are in so many different visions, which Ravana has expressed here. How Shiva is presenting his Tandava in different ways, cosmically. That he has given it so beautifully in this stava. So, Sushankarasya Chintanam, all the thoughts on that Shiva is possible through this sthava patana, sthava smarana, and vimohanam hi dehinam. Being in deha, being in this body, he loses all vimohana. He becomes away from any attachment. Disattachment becomes his second nature. So that is the phala of this stotra. So it looks like this 14th shloka looks like it is the concluding one, stating the phalastuti. Normally the phalastuti comes after the stotra is formed, and people, when they keep reciting it for over a period of time, there will be some effect of that stotra. So looking at all those things over a period of time, some other people who have experienced it, they say, if we recite this stotra, these are all the profit, these are all the benefits, phalastuti, they add to that stotra. So that is the normal way. But here we can also take it as Ravana is telling his thoughts loudly. My goodness, all this varnana, the description which is coming through my thoughts about Shiva and his Tandava, the way he is working in this whole world, universe, it is giving so many benefits that moha is going away. Great bhakti is making its home in my heart. I am becoming more and more closer to Shiva. These are all the experiences which he has gone through reciting all the 13 shlokas. When not reciting, but those thoughts are coming continuously through which he is experiencing Shiva. That he wants to share with everyone because he is so excited about it, isn't it? Suppose someone gives me a box of sweets, laddu, and there are 10 people. I open the box because that person is giving it to me with so much of love. I take and I taste it. Having all the 10 friends around me, it is but natural. It is so tasty. Guys, you have to taste it. It's so beautiful. You won't have tasted this kind of laddu anytime. Come on, take it, take it, take it. Won't I force everyone to eat it? Because I am having that kind of joy with that sweet. So exactly like that, Ravana is expressing his happiness and he's sharing his joy of what he's going through, experiencing the Shiva Tandava, which is going on continuously in his mind, and he's having the clear vision of Shiva Tandava. Not only that, here we can also understand even though it is like a phalastuti, Ravana is reaching that point where he is able to sustain that joy, sustain that vision, yet he is able to communicate it as poetry and also tell the phalastuti. So we can see the same thing in many of the Shankaracharya's stotras as well. He expresses his joy, what he has composed in various verses. And at the end, he gives the phalastuti for each stotra. But it is nothing but part of the stotra itself. That we have seen it in Dakshinamurti stotras and Saundarya Lahari stotras. So with that background, I'm thinking it can be studied as Ravana expressing, sharing his joy with all others. And there are 4 more shlokas. Some scholars say that it is added once. But the Sampurna Shiva Tandava will be with all the 18 shlokas. So let us study the other 4 as well, which are really valuable and which is teaching us many things like the other previous shlokas. Nilimpa Natha Nagari Kadamba Maula Mallika Nigumpa Nirbharaksharan Madhushnika Manohara Tanotuno Manomudam Vinodinim Maharnisham Parashriyam Parampadam Tadangajat Visham Chayaha. So here it is said, Parashriyam Parampadam Tanotuno Manomudam Vinodinim Aharnisham. Let me Tanotuno. Let us have, let us get the blessings of what? Manomudam. The joy, the continuous joy in the mind. Vinodinim Aharnisham. That joy which entertains us, which entertains the whole mind and all the activities of the whole day and night. Aharnisham. So understand here. Let that Shiva Tandava, which is happening, and that Shiva, who is none other than consciousness, and he is activated. So he is moving, dancing in great harmony and rhythm, which is so beautiful. Tadangaja Tvisham, the radiance as the rays of consciousness, which is coming out of his anga, like Chayaha means the collection. It is not just one ray. Whole Shiva is emanating that light of consciousness, like collection of so many rays. So that is giving so much of joy to the mind. Tano tuno mano mudam. That happiness. It is not only giving happiness momentarily, but it is giving aharnisham, day and night, day and night. Vinodinim, and also it is entertaining, giving the pleasure in every thought, every action. So the whole mind is consumed. How is he feeling? How is Ravana feeling it? that joy, which is like the nectar. He says, Nilimpa Natha Nagari. Nilimpa Natha. Nilimpa is all the celestials. Natha, the Lord of all celestials. That is Indra, Swarga, the heaven. Nilimpa Natha Nagari. In that celestial heaven of Indra, Kadamba Maula Mallika, that Kadamba flowers which are on top of the Nigumpa Nirbharat Charan, on top of the trees in his heavenly garden, like Kalpavriksha, it is dripping, Ksharan, it is dripping with Madhushnika, fresh, warm nectar, which is Manohara. It is appealing, it is pleasurable, and Manohara, it takes away the mind. So, the rays, the collection of rays which is coming out of Shiva's body is giving the same kind of sweet, which is fresh and it is warm. It's a very special quality, warm. Ushnika means warm. And it is sweet, sweet and warm. It is not stale. It is not stale nectar, honey. It is fresh and warm. That means Ravana is experiencing everything so freshly. We say, oh, it is still green in my mind, the memory of that episode. We say that. Here he is telling, he is also feeling the freshness to such an extent that it is warm yet. Nigumpha nirbharak sharan madhushnika manohara, that kind of nectarish, sweet rays of consciousness emitting from Shiva's body. That is Tadangajat Visham. Let it give us Parashriyam, the greatest of richness. Parashriyam. Shriya is wealth. Which is that Parashriya, the greatest wealth? It is Manatrupti. And the liberation from all the shackles of this world. The mind is free. Mind is totally satisfied. Manastrupti. That is the greatest richness. It is not desiring for anything. Everything is complete. I am happy. Day and night, every action I am doing is enjoyable. It is joyful, bliss. So think, if our life is filled with all joyful actions, whatever we do is joyful because of drinking that nectar which is coming from that consciousness, the body of Shiva. That is very, very true. When our mind is filled with that consciousness, awareness of Shiva, and if we are able to see that Shiva Shakti in every action, naturally it is sweet, it is enjoyable, day and night. So it is Parashriya Parampadam. That Parampadam is the highest state of existence. The highest state of existence is me being what I am. the original state. That is the highest state. If I am able to perceive that, experience that state, which is original state of mind, which is I am Brahman, Parampadam. So, Tano to know, let us get that by reciting this stotra, contemplating this stotra, living this stotra. Parashriyam Parampadam Tadangajat Tvisham Chayaha. So, if the light of consciousness has attracted Ravana, the light of consciousness, what else is needed? It has the capacity, that light of consciousness emanating from Shiva, from within. It has the capacity to satisfy all the desires of Iha, isn't it? We are able to do anything in this world, desire anything in this world, accomplish anything in this world, because of that ray of consciousness in us. If that ray of consciousness is not there, I am not there. I will be a dead person. So even in this Iha, in this world, it gives that sweet nectarish experience when we realize and live. Not only that, that light of consciousness also gives the knowledge of what this world is, how it is transient, how I am not the body, I am not the mind. It teaches us. So this light of consciousness is nothing but Amrita. So when we have the Amrita, naturally it is taking care of both physical world and the world beyond. Prachanda Vadavanala Prabha Shubha Pracharani Mahashta Siddhi Kamini Jana Avahuta Jalpana Vimukta Vama Lochana Vivaha Kali Kadhvanihi Shiveti Mantra Bhushana Jagat Jayaya Jayatam. This is beautiful shloka. Shiveti Mantra Bhushana. This Shiva iti mantra, just that name, Shiva, is like ornamental mantra, decorative mantra. Just think, Shiva, it is not too long. Like many of the mantras go to 32, 36, 48 letters, bijaksharas. It is not long like that. Nor Shiva is not very hard to pronounce also. It is so beautiful, short, but it has so much of potency in it. Shiva. When a person just utters the word Shiva from the bottom of heart with great devotion, great adoration, living that Shivatva, Shiva, it sounds like ringing of the bell. When we just strike once that ghanta, in temple or anywhere, it keeps ringing again and again for such a long time. Or in water, when we put one small stone into the water, small circle, the ripple go in circle, spreading throughout the water. We have the singing bowl. Even in that, once if we hit that bowl, it keeps ringing for such a long time. Like that, if a person pronounces Shiva Nama, it has that kind of value to it, that repercussion of the Nama Shiva penetrates all the three bodies of not only the person who is uttering, but all others who are around. It spreads. It has that power. So this shloka is about the Shiva Nama Mahima, the greatness of Shiva Nama. So what does it do? Jagat Jayaya Jayatam. This is very important. To win over Jagat Jayaya, to win over the world. Jayatam. It really helps one to win over the world. How? Why? What do we mean by winning over the world? In two ways it happens. One, in inclusive way. If I keep uttering the word Nama, mantra, Shiva, 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 the mind expands in such a way that I become the whole universe. So, everything which is manifested will become part of me. That individual body, Jivatma, will not be felt as such. I become the universal person. That is inclusive, all inclusive. That Nama, Shiva Nama has that capacity in it. When we utter it in with full involvement, devotion, it has that capacity. I expand, making the whole universe as within me. All inclusive. Another one, all exclusive. Shiva, 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 Shiva. When we keep uttering that Shiva, 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 only that consciousness, Shiva, 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 remains. The whole world, the whole manifestation, the individual being is annihilated in that consciousness. So, according to one's vasana, samskara, the mindset, they can choose and do the Shiva Nama mantra japa, so that we get that Jagat Jaya, Jagat Jayaya Jayatam. This Shiva Nama has that capacity. How does it do it? That also he explains. Prachanda Vada Vanara Prabha. This Nama is so bright, like the fire that dries up the ocean. Vada Vanala. Anala is fire. Vada Vanala is the fire which comes from the ocean. It is so fierce and intense that it dries up the whole ocean. Vadavanala. So there, the ocean is nothing but the ignorance. This fire called consciousness, Shiva, 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 that Nama itself has the power like the fire which consumes the whole ocean. That ocean is the ignorance. It takes away the ignorance, illusion. Vadavanala Prabha. That Nama is so great. Prabha. It shines. It's so bright. It has that capacity. Shubha Pracharani. Shiva is not only consciousness, which is auspicious as well. Shubha Pracharani. So once we utter the Nama Shiva, we are spreading that auspiciousness all around us. Like I said, when we ring the bell, thang, once it keeps ringing and going bigger and bigger circle. So, Shubha Pracharani. Mahashta Siddhika Kamini, one who loves the Jana, the people who love or who are seeking Maha Ashta Siddhi, all the Ashta Siddhis, the psychic powers, even for them, this is like the Avahuta Jalpana. It is like the inviting call, invocatory prayer. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. That Nama itself has the capacity to give these Maha Ashtasiddhis to people, Kamini, who are desiring to have the Siddhis. That means it is able to give that too. And they all keep talking, keep reciting Shiva, Shiva, Shiva as the invocatory prayer. So, Shiva Nama. Vibhukta Vama Lochana Vivaha Kalika Dhvani. During wedding of Shiva and Parvati, it is the Nama Shiva which converted itself as mantra as she started uttering. Vimukta. Vimukta means one who let it out. The name of her husband as Shiva. Vimukta Vamalochana. Vamalochana means one who has fair eyes or beautiful eyes. Being Shakti, the wife of Shiva, she has to have beautiful eyes. It is not physical beauty. Not only physical beauty, it has to be beautiful in its capacity. Because she is the one who is gracing the whole universe through her glance. So it has to be powerful. She has to be Vamalochana. So that beautiful is not just physical. It has to be beautiful in different aspects and in different dimensions. And she is Vamalochana. Vivaha Kalika Dhvanihi. And she uttered it so beautifully during her wedding. So because it has come through that Shakti, Shiva, it has gained more power in it. And that Shiveti Mantra Bhushana. That Shiva Nama, if one is uttering continuously, in the sense, for every thought or in conversation, if they keep on adding Shiva, Shiva, it becomes like a bhushana. Instead of Shiva, if they are uttering some other filthy word in the conversation, we feel like closing our ears and going away from that person, or we would like to stop their conversation, or our mind gets agitated. Instead, if that person is using the name Shiva in every conversation, it has a totally different effect on the person who is uttering as well as the persons who are around. So it acts as mantra bhushana. Jagat Jayaya Jayatam. It is great to such an extent. Next one. Namami Parvati Patim. Namami Janhavi Patim. Namami Bhakta Vatsalam. Namami Bhala Lochanam. Namami Chandrashekaram. Namami Dukka Mochanam. Tadiya Pada Pankajam Smaramyaham Nateshwaram. So, Tadiya Pada Pankajam, to those feet which are like lotus, to those lotus feet, Smaramyaham, I do all the time contemplate on it. I will remember. I keep remembering those two feet of Nateshwara. Here, Nateshwara is one who is acting. Natana is acting. Because Shiva is consciousness, pure consciousness. Because he is activated by Shakti, he is acting as the whole universe. He is making the whole universe as Angika Abhinaya. The bodily movements which are telling, giving some meaning. Abhinaya. Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam. And he is using all the sounds to express something as another kind of Abhinaya. Aharyam Chandra Taradi. He is using Chandra, Tara, all the beauties of the whole manifestation as his ornaments. Tam Numah Satvikam Shivam. I bow down to that Shiva, who is very much the embodiment of Sattva Guna. So because of which there are so many emotions which come only when it is felt within, and it comes out as reflex reaction. For example, the tears. Unless we feel the sorrow within, I cannot have the tears in my eyes. The real sorrow. Or change of color. It happens only when I feel anger or shyness. It becomes red. When I am really frightened or too sorrowful, the skin changes its color to pale fairness. So all these things can happen only when that Sattva Guna is there within. So he is the embodiment of that. So he's Nateshwara. He is not converting himself as the whole universe, but he is making himself act. That means indirectly saying the whole thing is only a performance, only an experience, not the reality. The reality is Shiva is consciousness. But being with Shakti, being activated, he appears, he enacts as the whole manifestation in different ways, moving around, singing around. So, and then Namami Parvati Patim, Namami Janhavi Patim, that Janhavi is Ganga. Namami Bhaktavatsalam, he is the Bhaktavatsala, one who loves, cares his devotees. Bhaktavatsala. Namami Bhalalochana, I bow down to. Namami, I bow down to. Bhalalochana, one who has the third eye on his forehead. Namami Chandrasekharam, one who has the crescent moon as his crown. Namami Dukkha Mochanam, one who takes away the sorrow. That takes away the sorrow, it is through giving the real knowledge of what the situation is, what the reason for sorrow is. So he takes away by giving the real knowledge. And I bow down to him. So because consciousness, Shiva, is the Lord of energy, Shakti, the whole universe is working, going on smoothly, beautifully. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible. And that's the reason, Namami, 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 and he's telling it where Shakti is taking different forms as Bhakta, as that Chandra, as that Dukkha. Dukkha emotions are also because of the presence of Shakti in different forms. And Namami, I bow down to that. Feet, which are lotus. Pujavasana samaye Dashavaktra Geetam Yah Shambhu Pujana Param Pathati Pradoshe Tasya Sthiram Ratha Gajendra Turanga Yuktam Lakshmim Sadaiva Sumukhim Pradadati Shambhu. So, in this verse, Pujavasana Samaye, at the end of the puja of worship of Shiva, Dashavaktra Geetam. Dashavaktra is Ravana. His Gita, his Stotra, which is Shiva Tandava Stotra, Yah, who Shambhu Pujana Param, the one which is the highest form of puja to Shiva, Pathati, one who reads, one who recites, one who listens to, Pradoshe, at the time of Pradosha. Pradosha is that point where day and night also meet. And that is very, the twilight is very vulnerable time. Because we are going towards, heading towards the darkness, the night. Many of the negative thoughts and actions take place at that dark period. So, when we are about to enter in that twilight, if we think of consciousness, Shiva, if we think of Shiva, who is auspiciousness, naturally it will lead us, guide us, and take us through the dark time of our life. So, Shambhu Pujana Param Pathati. Here, why have they given that Shambhu Pujana Param? Reciting, listening to this Tandava Stotra with full mind in it, with full devotion in the mind. That means it is Manasa Puja. Manasa Puja is possible only when the whole Anthakarana, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, and also Chitta are totally involved in what I am uttering as stotra, stuti, or even japa. The whole mind, Sukshma Sharira, whole mind is involved in it. So it is the greatest. Param means the greatest. Shambhu Pujana Param. That reciting this stotra itself is a puja which we are doing. See how beautiful. So, and that too, it is in our hand. If I know this stotra, wherever, whenever, however I am, I can do my puja by reciting it within my mind. And it becomes Pujana Para. So, Pujavasana Samaye Dashavaktra Geetam Yah Shambhu Pujana Param Pathati Pradoshe. The two Pradosha is that time. Tasya, to that person, Sthiram, he will become stable in his life, which is very true. Sthiram. Ratha is the chariot. Gajendra, the elephants who are really powerful. Turanga, all the horses. Yuktam, along with all this wealth. Lakshmim Sadaiva Sumukhim. Lakshmi, Sadaiva, all the time. Sadaiva, all the time being Sumukhi. That means when Lakshmi is angry with the devotee, she leaves away the house. She leaves that person and goes out. Lakshmi. But if she is in that happy, blessing mood, naturally her face will also be beautiful and very attractive, appealing, and I feel like going more and more towards her. So, Lakshmim Sadaiva Sumukhim Pradadati Shambhu. Shambhu gives, bestows that beautiful face of Lakshmi. That means she is. That is a very good boon. Healthy body represents Ratha. Gajendra. Gajendra is huge and he is powerful. It is the mind. The mind should become expansive, like Gajendra, not narrow mind. Expansive, all-inclusive mind. So all negative thoughts will be away from us because I see everyone as my own self because of that expansive mind. Isn't it? Gajendra. Turanga. Horsepower. Energy. That I will have. And Lakshmi Sadaiva Sumukhim. So Lakshmi will be there. Lakshmi is Kriya Shakti. That means accomplishing different aspects of our life in this world. It can be emotional, spiritual, intellectual, financial, material, everything one can accomplish because of the presence of Lakshmi in Sumukha with pleasant, happy face. That means she is ready to allow us to accomplish that. How will she be giving all those things accomplish? Because my mind is totally connected with that Shambhu, one who does always auspicious things, good things. So naturally, she's bound to give me. So this is Shiva Tandava Stotram. And I would like to sum up the whole thing with my understanding. When we observe this Shiva Tandava Stotra, we see that Ravana is concentrating on only few of the things, like his jata. He is attributing so many shlokas for describing his jata. Jata is power, strength, energy, virility, that creative power. Jata. And in that, Ganga. Ganga is the flow of the water, river, which is giving life to many people. Ganga is also called Jivanadayi, one who gives Jiva, Jivana. So she's like a mother, and who is flowing, that continuous flow, which is also the continuous flow of consciousness, because it is coming from that powerful, strong jata. And then the Chandra, the crescent moon. Chandra is known for his compassion. So moon is the symbol of a mother in the family. Any strong woman in a family is always compared to Chandra. So, and moon is the controller of the mind, the emotions. He is also there. And then the serpent, he talks a lot about serpent, which is around the jata and around the neck, which is the representation of the all jivatmas, all the living beings in this world. And then he also talks about the third eye connected with Kamadahana. The Kamadahana is purifying that being. The purification happens only when that Agnya Chakra is opened. Kamadahana. Once that Kama is burnt from that fire of consciousness, he is Punita, he is pure. We can say, take the example of Valmiki. Before he met Narada, he was a person who was taking care of his family through looting the people, murdering the people. So he was like a dacoit king. But when he came in touch with Narada Muni, who gave him that teaching of that consciousness, he became Valmiki, who wrote Ramayana. So one can see such a drastic change in one's life. Like that, there are so many people who are very bad, but who have converted themselves as good people because of one striking moment in their life. So that's what happened to Kama as well. Kama Dahana. That also Ravana talks a lot about it. And then about the neck being very, very dark because of hala poison being held there. That darkness is nothing but ignorance that he is holding it. And then we also see how Ravana pours out his feelings through heart. So these are the things which we see again and again coming in throughout Tandava Stuti. What do we understand by this? Why is he concentrating so much on only this? When the whole stotra is about Tandava, why not below this chest? Or he's not talking about other limbs or the feet. Because I would say his consciousness and energy has risen from Manipura all the way up. So whatever he is expressing as Shiva Tandava is happening from Anahata upward. So his perception of Shiva is also concentrating as a reflection which is happening within himself. That he's expressing as Shiva Tandava. Isn't it surprising when we say Tandava, Tandava, it is so energetic. So he should have said so much about his feet. Not much at all. Not at all, I would say. Or other limbs. He has not said it. Because he is not seeing Shiva as a human form which is dancing around. But he's seeing it as a cosmic Shiva, who is the whole manifestation. And he is taking in that cosmic Nataraja as within. Even if we see Nataraja, one leg is lifted up aloof, representing the freedom. Another leg is dancing on Muhyalaka. That is the apasmara, which is ignorance, the demon of ignorance. So he is dancing on that. So if he is dancing on ignorance, if he is stamping on ignorance, and another leg is up, that means he is not in touch with the earth directly. Even though the first shloka says he is dancing in the bhumi, which is purified by Ganga, it says, but it is only the place which it says. But here we can see that it is not physical feet which are involved in it, but the cosmic thing, the progress of the consciousness which is happening within him, starting from Anahata all the way to his Jata and beyond. And Bhakta, this stotra is about Bhakti. There are 4 types of Bhaktas, devotees. Artha, one who is in great difficulty. Another one, artharthi. When they have some desire to be accomplished, then they show the bhakti towards God. Please make me accomplish this. Artharthi. And then jignasu, one who wants to know, one who wants to expand their knowledge about what that Ishvara is. Another one, jnani. He also shows bhakti because he knows the greatness of what that Ishvara is. He is adoring, worshipping that greatness without expecting anything. So all these four, we see it in every being. Our connection with mother, our own mothers. We are all the four types of bhaktas of our mother, isn't it? In great difficulty, we go to mother and say, Amma, I'm having this difficulty, what shall I do? Amma, please help me. Or artharthi, when I want something from the market or from a shop, I will ask Amma, Amma, I really like it. I want it. Without that, I feel incomplete. Please get me that. Isn't it? We have that intimacy and freedom and love. And I know she will respond to me. So I go to her, artharthi. Jignasu. I want to know more about Amma, what all she does, how she grew up, what are all the things she would be doing to me, and what all I can do to her. So this kind of connection is also there with mother. And when I reach a level where I am satisfied and I know no more I can expect anything from Amma, but still, even at the age of 80, if I am 80-year-old, even then, if I have the chance to keep my mother, even if she doesn't do anything, just her presence will make me so happy. And I show my devotion to her. I'm not expecting anything from her. I know everything about her. I'm not expecting anything, but I want her with me. And I show my respect to her, bhakti to her. So in the same way, Ravana is also doing with Shiva. Artha, his hands are stuck under Kailasa. Artha, in pain, great pain, difficulty, sorrow. He's almost gone, finished. He can't do anything more. Artha. Artharthi. He wanted Shiva to be with him all the time. He wanted to carry him for his own self or even for his mother's sake. Artharthi. Jignasu, that we see it in Tandava Stuti. Kada sada Shivam bhaje. When shall I be able to keep worshipping him in this way, in that way? When will I be doing that? When I'll be happy being one with him? Jignasu. And like a jnani, he also says, taste this Tandava Stuti, which is telling so much about this Shiva Tandava, which takes away the attachment, vimohanam, and it gives that Jagat Jaya. So he is understanding what Shiva is capable of, what his Nama is capable of. That he's going through as a bhakta. That is fine. At one point, he's going through this. But in general, we all know Ravana as a Rakshasa, who has tormented people, sages, devatas, and he fell down. How can a Shiva Bhakta, such a great Shiva Bhakta, fall down to such an extent? So for this, I remember one of the disciples of Chinmayananda Swamiji had asked, Swamiji, you are already a realized person, you know everything. Yet, why should you do japa like all of us? Why do you do Nama japa? For that, Swamiji had answered, life is like the double-edged sword. One has to be constantly conscious. Otherwise, anyone can fall down. So I have to do this, even though I am a realized person. So I would like to give you my understanding and my analogy. When a person does the tightrope walk, in the beginning, in the very beginning of his adventure, he goes through so much of fear because he can't balance on the tightrope and he falls down. And in his mind, that fear is there. I might break my limbs. It looks like suicidal. I don't think I can do it. Better I get down. But over a period of time, practice, he gets the grip of balancing his own body and the mind. And he takes the pole to balance himself while walking on that rope. And he also understands his concentration, alertness, and awareness of the body and the mind should be there all the time till he reaches the end of the pole. Isn't it? So in the beginning, he had the fear. But once he started practicing again and again and again, like sadhana, he walks as though it is a game, it is a show, it is a performance, it is leela. Like that, he moves easily. And he feels that freedom and joy of standing on the pole and walking. So it is the same in our life also. Ravana is teaching us it is not enough to be good in one point. And if I become careless just because I know how to balance, how to walk on the rope, if I lose my concentration, I have come all the way half. If at all I lose the concentration, I will fall down at once. So being in touch with Shiva or consciousness, energy, or with that spirit, Atma, is not enough, even if we have this much. Even if we have traveled all the way, and if I lose concentration, I fall down because I won't have reached the end. So till the end, I have to have that concentration and awareness of the body balance. So what do I do? What should I do? Throughout, I take the pole. Pole is to balance. That pole is nothing but the experiences of life. It can be happy, sorrow, good and bad, success and failure, all will be there, but I have to balance both and be in the middle. So that experience of my own life, I should take it as support to know how to balance. And this rope is nothing but consciousness, Ishvara, Shiva. It is the base on which I am walking. It is Shakti, the energy, who is supporting. It is the lifespan, that rope. It is the life force as well, which is giving me support. And it is also Kala, Desha. It is that rope. So from starting day of my life in the earth and till the end, it is nothing but tightrope walking, for which I have to have the support of the pole, my own life experiences, take the lesson from them, balance, and keep going. So when I take the experiences of my life as support, and creating the new experience of the freedom, the joy of walking so freely on that tight rope. So that new experience is nothing but having the total balance of physical body and the mind, and no attachment to the previous thing. If I have already come to this point, I have to forget about how it was here. The minute I keep next foot, I have to give up this. When I lose the balance here, I know how it feels, and I should avoid that in the next step. So like that, every step is a lesson. And because of my continuous conscious attention on the rope and the balance, the life becomes the experience of freedom, joy, and it is walking or leading life would be like Leela. It would be like a game, a sport. And it is like a performance. It is like acting. There's no need for me to go on the rope, tight rope. No need, but I do it. Why? I have learned how to balance and walk on it. So it is giving me a new experience of freedom, vimukti, and the joy, ananda. So one can be really happy if we are in touch with that Shiva Shakti all the time till the end. So let us pray that Shiva Shakti will be with us in my mind all the time. Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om. 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 Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Shiva Shakti Om.